Welcome back, guys. Let's kick off game number 2, best of 3 match series between EG.HuK and Sheth from the North American Battle.net Invitational. Here on Metalopolis, we have cross-spawning positions today. Game number 1, man, really felt like Sheth just had it in the bag from the get-go. Once he was able to hold off that really strong gateway attack, things just fell into place for him. You know, he went with that roach pressure, having that macro hatchery, really kicked in towards the end there. Not only that, but managing to pull off those immortals when he did. 2 out of the 3 fell primarily due to positioning. So, I'm going to be a little curious now. Is EG.HuK going to be going for a Stargate play maybe this game? Since they're so far away, of course both players will be scouting each other out right now. Sheth, of course, will be the first to find out in just a second that they are not close by air. So, assuming down here cross position, since this is a modified version of Metalopolis, pretty much easiest way to tell is just the supply depot at the bottom, which... It's funny, I still have people actually asking me what that's for. It's primarily to keep players from walling in other players at the bottom of the ramp, like with pylons and stuff. So, hopefully that will clear it up for those of you who are not familiar with it. But for now, EG.HuK going to be going over, scouting his opponent. We see Sheth is currently sitting on 14 supplies, sitting on around 200 minerals. Going to be going pool first. Pretty interesting idea there, but you know, maybe he's thinking that, okay, well, getting that gas as well a little bit later on. You know, pool after or gas after pool can lend itself to that roach play, getting those out for defense. Early position there would be nice, but also could lead over to many things later on down the road. So we'll see exactly what happens from him. Meanwhile, back down to EG.HuK, we see he's opening up with that same build as he did in game number 1. Gonna be going for some type of gas-heavy play, whether it be tech or simply just a 3-gate sentry expand like we saw earlier. I don't know, though. I mean, we saw that EG.HuK, we know when he came up and scouted, he witnessed the pool before the gas, so maybe he's not anticipating the same kind of pressure that we saw from having that early metabolic boost. But, you know, coming up here, he's going to scout out. Okay, pretty much the same thing. Nothing really going on. No expansion just yet either. Of course, we do have the probe heading out, and we, of course, can see the minerals sitting up there around 300 or so. The first Zerglings now taking to the field. They will be able to make sure no probe harassment takes place here, no pylon or anything like that, and also probably continuing to scout out these watchtowers here. Of course, they are both going to be equally crucial in the coming match, as these pathways both can be pretty heavily walked on. So there we go with the Zerglings heading down now. Going to be seeing if EG.HuK has any weak spots, anything like that. We are, of course, still waiting to see exactly what he's going to do. Notice that he has saved up a lot of his chrono energy there. And of course, now we'll be using that on that warp gate technology. So I think, again, we're going to be anticipating another... oh, what is... Okay, well, we have a Twilight Council going down. Well, you know... Going off of one base right now, I'm going to have to say pretty much the only thing we can expect to see from that, with all of the gas that he's going to be having here, you see he's already up at almost 200. I think we're going to be seeing a Dark Templar opening. Again, if he was going to be doing something like Blink Stalkers, I think he could have skimped a little bit more of the gas there. And you see he's also dumping into Sentry, continuing to chrono boost out that cybernetics core, the warp gate technology, and getting that into place. So now up here, Sheth's expansion has completed, the workers have transferred down, and we can start to see his income kick up just a tiny bit there. He did focus a little bit on getting those Zerglings out. We can see a few of them running around midfield, a few more running just outside of his base, going to be heading presumably towards the south, possibly just again to try to pull the same thing he did in game number 1, delaying the Protoss expansion. We, of course, can see didn't quite have enough money for it just yet, but he is starting off by dropping that pylon. EG.HuK, quick reaction, bringing back that probe, but now we have a little bit more of a strong response from Sheth than we saw in game number 1. Mainly the timing of those Zerglings getting down there, the big pack of them arriving a little bit sooner. Plus, we do have more of them. With that Dark Templar Shrine about 50% complete, Sheth, of course, running in here, has not seen it yet. Oh, now he has. Oh, he has that crucial information. Knowing that Dark Templar will be coming, we do already have an evolution chamber on the way. I mean, really having that can lend itself to so many good purposes moving forward about the 7-minute mark. Number 1, if your opponent's going DTs, having that detection, oh so helpful. Also, number 2, having the anti-airs. We really aren't sure what the Protoss player is doing. Of course, that Overlord was scouting it out, but that Evolution Chamber went down before the Overlord, so having that ability to basically defend against air harassment at the Overlords will help out a good bit. But I do want to point out that Sheth has been moderately ballsy with his Overlords, keeping them out midfield. You see here in the middle as well. And also, we do have one Dark Templar, I believe a second one coming down here, and a third one as well. Oh, but that Spore Crawler coming up really helped him. Really helped Sheth secure against that pressure attempt going into the main, possibly looking to slip by. Once again, getting a good surround on the Dark Templar, taking that out. That's a lot of gas down the drain right now. We do, of course, know that HuK has 2 additional Dark Templar here on the field. Well, Sheth just continues to drone up, work on his economy. I mean, really, why not? He has enough to deal with this. He's got the detection there, and the Zerglings, they're good for a surround. But you see, HuK has used that one as a diversion to continue forward with his own Dark Templar here in the main base now, which will start accumulating drone kills. We, of course, can also see a few Zealots that were warped in to protect that pylon there. But Zerg has the Overlord there. He sees what's going on. And the clock is ticking here. Yes, indeed, that Spore Crawler has burrowed itself, so the Dark Templar harassment will come to a screeching halt. We do have one more over here, but again, I really don't see this being super effective, as Sheth already has a good surround. HuK positioning here, very good spot between these 2 minerals, really limiting the amount of surround the Zerglings can do. But for now, we see HuK actually looking to move out, and as a result of this, we can see a lot of older Overlords are very, very vulnerable. If HuK is actually able to take out, we could see at least 3 or 4 of them that are pretty out in the open. It will definitely supply box Sheth, so that's something I'm sure the Zerg player will be looking out for. Do note we also have a 4th gateway on the way. It feels like even more so than last game that HuK is delayed here. I feel like the expansion being delayed for as long as it did really is going to work out super well for Sheth. Of course, HuK wants to come up and try to make something happen here. He knows that he is behind, and of course we can look at the income and see 42 to 35, and looking good for the minerals, good for the gas. Pretty much Sheth can just do whatever he darn well pleases here. He is working on roaches. He's got, again, the roach speed, the burrow upgrade, weapons level 1, and he will be poised to be in a very good position to defend, as I stutter over my own words here. We'll just say that I am super excited to be here in this game, watching these 2 players duke it out on Metalopolis. Again, this is game number 2, Battle.net Invitational for North America. So there's a lot on the line right now. Of course, several $1,000s here available in prizes. And of course, HuK continue to press forward here now with his Sentry Zealot army, which will not be very good against these roaches. He does not have the DPS to fight up against these ranged units. Of course, Roach is very powerful against the Sentry Zealot combination, especially if the Protoss' strategy is going to rely primarily on, oh man, that is not good there. Pretty much 2 things have just taken place. Number 1, the loss of those Stalkers there, which coincided at the same time with the Protoss player being forced to blow almost all of his energy trying to keep those roaches away. He does not want to lose those. But the problem is he's already sacrificed so much of their usefulness simply just keeping them alive. And now what does he have to show for it? A bunch of Zealots that are not actually able to get in here and do any serious damage. But with that burrow upgrade already complete, the roach speed upgrade as well, I really feel like Sheth is going to be able to make an extremely strong push here. Again, he's got 7 additional roaches on the way. That robotics facility not even complete yet, so we're not going to see any Immortals in the field. These roaches are going to run circles around these Zealots. We do have the continued pressure here. And you see the burrow micro from Sheth is just astounding, catching these units when they're at the brink of death, burrowing them, bringing them back into the fight. Exceptional micro coming from both players. You see, of course, HuK backing down, trying to use the terrain here, the structures to his advantage. Unfortunately, not able to field himself a victory here, falling to Sheth 2-0 as we saw the GG from EG.HuK. So, thank you guys again for watching. If you support Sheth or HuK, make sure you congratulate them on their Twitter, Facebook, whatever, for making it as far as they did. Of course, I myself have my own Twitter. That's twitter.com/Anaris. You can find the link to that in my Facebook in the video description down below. Also, if you like the video series, be sure to thumbs it up and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And that's pretty much all I've got. So I'm going to be looking for more games from the Battle.net North American Invitational, possibly from the European one as well. So I'm going to leave you with a completely baller Roach. Check that guy out, man. He is just ready to spit. Pah!